Phonetics. Phonetics. It is the science of speech sounds. It is the study of the production and reception of speech sounds. It is concerned with the sounds of language, how these sounds are articulated and how listeners perceive them. Articulatory phonetics, production, the study of how speech sounds are produced or articulated. Auditory phonetics, perception, the study of how speech sounds are perceived via the ear. Acoustic phonetics, it deals with the physical properties of the sounds. Anatomy of the voice system. Consonants. A consonant sound is formed when the airstream is restricted or stopped at some point in the vocal tract, as the air from the lungs is pushed through the glottis out the mouth. That is, consonants are produced with some narrowing or obstruction of the articulatory passageway. Articulatory phonetics. Consonants. To describe a consonant, we have to consider the state of the glottis, voiced or voiceless vocal cords. When the vocal cords are open, the consonant sound is voiceless. When they are vibrating, the consonant is voiced. The place of articulation. It is the point where the contact between the articulators takes place. The manner of articulation. How the airstream is modified by the vocal tract to produce sounds. It depends on the degree of closure or constriction of the articulators, how close together or far apart they are. 1. Voiced and voiceless consonants. Sounds are classified on the basis of their voicing. Sounds can be voiced or voiceless. Voiced sounds require vibration of the muscles in the larynx that form the vocal cords. The space between these vocal cords is called the glottis. 1. Voiced and voiceless consonants. Larynx, or voice box, which contains 2 vocal cords, upper left. When vocal cords are drawn tight, they produce a voice sound. When vocal cords are spread apart, they produce voiceless sounds. S S S S S S or F F F F F F Z Z Z Z Z Z or V V V V V V. 1. Voiced and voiceless consonants. For example, the pairs S Z, P B, F V and T D. The first sound is voiceless, the second is voiced. As a rule, the voiceless member of the pair will be produced with more muscle tension, more airflow, and a shorter sound duration than the second member. 2. Place of articulation. A place of articulation is a point of contact where a sound is produced. Most consonants are produced by using the tongue and other parts in the mouth to constrict the airway. There are many places of articulation as indicated on the left. Description of places of articulation. 1, 2. Labial sounds are produced here. 3. Endodental. 4. Dental sounds. 5, 6. Alveolar sounds. 7, 8. Palatal sounds, velar sounds. 9. Uvular sounds. 10. Pharyngeal sounds. 11 to 14. Glottal sounds. 15. Interdental sounds. 16 to 18. Labiodental sounds. Bilabial stop, B. Bilabial nasal, M. B. 12. Dental sounds, F, theta, T, D, airflow stopped. At the alveolar ridge. Dental sounds, F, theta. 13. Bilabials. These are sounds formed using both upper and lower lips. The initial sounds in the words pat, bat, way and mat are all bilabials. They are represented by the symbols P, B, M, and W. Labiodentals. These are sounds formed with the upper teeth and the lower lip. The initial sounds of the words fat and vat and the final sounds of safe and save are labiodentals. Symbols are F, V. The final sound in the word cough, and the initial sound in photo, despite the spelling differences, are both pronounced as F. Dentals. These sounds are formed with the tongue tip behind the upper front teeth. The initial sound of thin and the final sound of bath are both dentals. The symbol used for these sounds are theta, eth, for example, there, thank, then and thin, alveolars. These are sounds formed with the front part of the tongue on the alveolar ridge, which is the rough, bony ridge immediately behind and above the upper teeth. The initial sounds in top, dip, sit, zoo, nut, lap, lit, and right are all alveolars. The symbols are T, D, S, Z, N, L, R. Palatals. Sounds produced with the tongue and the palate are called palatals. The hard palate is the hard part in the roof of your tongue behind the alveolar ridge. The initial sounds in the words shout and child, comma dot. The voiced palatal represented by the symbol, comma, as in the middle consonant in words like treasure and pleasure. Also the voiced palatal, D, as in words like George or judge, velars. Sounds produced with the back of the tongue against the velum, soft palate, are called velars. They are represented by the symbol, K, G, and, comma, as in kid, kill, go, gun, give, sing and ringing. Despite the variety in spelling, their, K, sound is both then initial and final sound in the words cook, kick and coke. Glottals. There is one sound that is produced without the active use of the tongue and other parts of the mouth. It is the voiceless sound, H, which occurs at the beginning of have and house. When the glottis is open and there is no manipulation of the air passing out of the mouth, the sound produced is that represented by H. Activity 1 Treasure University Mentor Writer Photographer Question 1. Decide whether following words begin with a voiced or voiceless consonant. Treasure, university, mentor, writer, photographer. Question. Think. Zoom. Church. Japan. Activity 2 Voiced labiodental voiced alveolar voiced glottal. 1. Provide the phonetic symbol representing each of the following sounds. Voiced labiodental, voiced alveolar, voiced glottal, voiced velar, voiced dental, voiceless palatal, voiceless bilabial. Activity 3, D, N, W, F, P, G. 1. Identify the place of articulation for each of the following sounds. D, N, W, F, P, G. 3. Manner of articulation. The manner of articulation describes how the tongue, lips, and other speech organs are involved in making a sound make contact. That is, how the airstream is modified by the vocal tract to produce sounds. It is the degree of closure or constriction of the articulators, the degree of obstruction of the airstream by these articulators. For example, T and S are both voiceless alveolar sounds. They differ in their manner of articulation, in the way they are pronounced. Their T sound is one of a set of sounds called stops and their S sound is one of a set called fricatives. 3. Manner of articulation. Stops, plosives. This type of consonant sound, resulting from a blocking or stopping effect on the airstream, is called a stop, or plosive. They are produced by some form of stopping of the airstream, then letting it go abruptly, sudden release of the air. The set of stops, P, B, T, D, K. Fricatives. The manner of articulation used in producing the set of sounds, F, V, theta, F, S, Z, involves almost blocking the airstream and having the air push through the very narrow opening. As the air is pushed through, and a type of friction is produced and the resulting sounds are called fricatives. If you put your open hand in front of your mouth when making these sounds, F and S, in particular, you should be able to feel the stream of air being pushed out. Affricates. if you combine a brief stopping of the airstream with an obstructed release which causes some friction, these are called affricates. Such sounds happen at the beginning of the words cheap and jeep. This is the set of affricate sounds, comma and, dot. Nasals. When the velum is lowered and the airstream is allowed to flow out through the nose to produce the sounds are described as nasals. The words morning, knitting and name begin and end with nasals. Set of nasals sounds, m, n, and liquids. They are produced by letting the airstream flow around the side of the tongue, while the tip of the tongue makes contact with the middle of the alveolar ridge. This produces the sound, L, as in the words beginning with light or liver. Another liquid is, R, which is formed with the tip of the tongue raised and curled back near the alveolar ridge, as in words beginning with red, room. They occur in words beginning with white, work, you, yes. Glides. They are also called semi-vowels. They are produced like a vowel but with the tongue closer to the roof of the mouth, so that there is a slight turbulence. The sounds, W, and, J, are glides. They occur in words beginning with white, work, you, yes. Glottal stops and flaps. The glottal stop occurs when the space between the vocal cords is closed completely, very briefly, then released. Try to say the expression oh. Or you can find it in place of the T in the word Batman or mitten. It is represented by the symbol. Flap occurs when there is a single quick flip of the tongue against the upper part of the mouth. A flap happens when someone pronounces the word butter as bura, or later lera, right ira. It is represented by the symbol R. Activity 4 Voiced labiodental fricative voiced alveolar lateral. Provide the phonetic symbol representing each of the following sounds. Voiced labiodental fricative. Voiced alveolar lateral. Voiced glottal fricative. Voiced velar nasal. Voiced dental fricative. Voiced palatal fricative. Activity 5, D, /N, /W, F /P // Provide the appropriate three-part articulatory description for the consonant sounds represented in by the following symbols. /D /N /W /F /P // Consonant classifications. Natural classes are groups of sounds in a language that share some articulatory or auditory features. In order for a group of sounds to be a natural class, it must include all the sounds that share a particular feature or a group of features. B, D, G, voiced oral stops. P, T, K, voiceless oral stops. D, Z, L, N, P, L, W. Consonant classifications. Obstruents are consonants produced with an obstruction of the airflow. The sounds in this category are stops, fricatives, affricates. Sonorants are consonants produced with a relatively open passage for the airflow. They include nasals, liquids and glides. Sibilant sounds are characteristically intense consonants which are produced with a hissing sound by directing the air through a narrow channel in the vocal tract towards the sharp edge of the teeth. They include all fricative and affricate consonants including S, Z, T, D. Activity 6.1. Describe the following natural classes, R, L, F, S, O, W, Y. 2. List the members of the following natural classes. Alveolar obstruent consonants. Voiced labial consonants. Velar oral stop consonants. Dental fricative consonants.